Just before Christmas, Ironman announced that they were changing the ways that professional triathletes qualify for Kona starting in 2019. So as opposed to the current points-based system that they use, they're going to be moving towards a system very similar to what it is that age groups use in order to qualify for Kona, where if you win, you're in. So at all Ironman pro races, there's going to be at least 2 spots available. So one for the top man, one for the top female, and then at regional championships they're going to have 6 spots available, so 2 male, 2 female, and 2 floater spots. So for this week's video, thought I'd go over my thoughts on the change, so what I think's good, what I think's not so good, and how it's going to impact me. Let's start with the good. So first and foremost, the best athletes will show up to Kona much better prepared, more well rested. They won't have to do 5-6 races chasing points all around the world in order to make sure that they secure their spot. If you win, you're in. Second, it's a step forward for equality in the sport. So right now there's 50 spots for men in Kona and there's 35 spots for women. In the new system, likely we'll still see a few more men than women in Kona, just because it's very likely that men will get a few more of those floater spots than women, but it will close that gap. And finally, it just really simplifies the system. So there's no waiting and seeing how many points everybody else gets so that you know how many you have to get. At the end of the race, you know if you're going to Kona or not. There's a lot of good in the new system, but I do think that there's some missed opportunities. I think the first issue with the new system is that it's going to really water down the pro fields. The top athletes have no incentive to race each other. Pretty much all the top athletes, the goal is to get to Kona and have a great day in Kona. But at Ironman qualifying races, they have no incentive to actually race each other, because if there is only going to be 1 spot for the top male, 1 spot for the top female, then you're not going to want to line up against other top athletes, and this will really end up watering down the field. It was a missed opportunity because I think that they could have really created 2 or even 3 tiers of pro racing. I think the regional championship should have had a lot more spots. So instead of having 6 spots, maybe they have 10 spots. So top 4 males, top 4 females, and 2 floater spots. They could have got all those additional spots by having some pro racing without any spots for Kona. So then you could have the regional championships with lots of spots. You could have some of the local Ironman races with just the top male and top female, and then you could have a 3rd tier of pro racing where it's a pro race but no one qualifies for Kona. I think this would be a really great way to create a development system within the Ironman structure where athletes could really work their way up through the different systems, and you would have much better racing at your regional championships. It would encourage your heavy hitters to line up against each other more often. So at regional championships, you'd be more likely to get the likes of Lionel Sanders, Jan Frodeno, Patrick Lang, Sebastian Kienle, Daniela Ryf, Sarah Crowley, Marinda Carfrae, all lining up against each other. So how does this impact me? Well, at the moment, it doesn't really impact me. Right now, I don't have any sort of focus on Kona. I don't try and chase any sort of Kona points because realistically, I'm just not caliber of athlete who has a realistic chance of getting there. Now, by the time 2019 rolls around, maybe that'll be different, but for right now, it really doesn't change my mindset at all. I could see it changing the way that some races shake out. Could see some of the top contenders dropping out of races either after the bike or early on into the run if they see that they're not going to be able to get their spot and they want to live to fight another weekend. But really there's nothing that is going to directly impact me in the decision making that I'll be making in terms of what races I will or won't be doing. So overall, as I stated, I think that this change is good for Ironman racing. I just think that there's some tweaks that they can make in order to make it even better. So thanks a lot for watching this week's video. If you like what you see, please click the subscribe button down below. And until next time, happy training.
Oh, this you crazy mother.